A chord is simply a combination of notes played together that produce a certain harmony. The most basic type of chord is a triad, which consists of 3 notes. Naturally, in our musical world of major and minor scales, we also have major and minor triads. An easy way to build such a chord is to combine the first, third, and fifth note of any major or minor scale. For example, in the C major scale, if we play C, E, and G, we get a C major chord. If we use the same method in the A minor scale, we get an A minor chord. In the most common system of chord notation, a capital letter represents a major chord, and we indicate a minor chord by adding a lowercase m. So, what's the difference between a major and a minor chord? Let's take a look at the intervals they use. In our C major chord, we have 4 semitones between C and E, and 3 semitones between E and G. So, from our root note, we go up a major third to E, and then a minor third to G. In our A minor chord, we use the same 2 intervals, but in reverse. We begin with 3 semitones, a minor third between A and C, followed by 4 semitones, a major third between C and E. So both major and minor chords contain a major third and a minor third, just in a different order. This difference in structure is the entire secret behind major and minor chords. Here's another way to look at it. In both chords, the outer notes have the same distance, a perfect fifth, and only the middle note changes. In the minor chord, it's a semitone lower. So, if we want to turn our C major chord into a C minor chord, all we have to do is lower the third from E to E flat. Likewise, we can transform our A minor chord into an A major chord by simply raising the middle note from C to C sharp. With this formula, you can now build any major or minor chord. So why don't you try to figure out the following chords yourself? Before we close this chapter, there's one more thing I want to mention. In reality, you will often come across chord inversions. That simply means that the notes of the chord have been put in a different order. For example, we learned that a C major chord contains C, E, and G. Now we can rearrange these notes so that our chord begins with E or with G. These are still C major chords because they contain the same 3 notes, but only the first one begins with C. So whenever you're trying to identify a chord by its root note, just keep in mind that this only works if the chord is in its root position.